What is going on, everyone? My name is Eric and you're watching the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Today, I'm near the town of Leadville, Colorado, which is actually the highest elevated town in the United States. About 10,000 feet above sea level. Now, the reason I'm here is I am attempting my second 14er. That's what they call in Colorado peaks that are above 14,000 feet. Behind me, right here, is Mount Sherman, named after the famous Civil War general. This is 14,043 feet to the top, looking at an elevation gain of about 2,200 feet and roughly about 5 miles there and back again. So a total of 5 miles for this hike. We may actually extend this to do another, an extra 13er while we do this. We'll see. I'm here with some family. So yeah, excited for this. 2 days ago, I actually did my first 14er. I summited Mount Elbert, which is the highest peak of the state of Colorado. So I'm not gonna lie, I am a little sore today, but Mount Sherman is supposed to be one of the easier 14ers to do. So I don't wanna bite my tongue because I haven't summited it yet. Still have to prove myself. This is the west side of Mount Sherman. And there's supposed to be some abandoned mine shafts, maybe some abandoned mining buildings too along the way that I want to kind of explore. I'll share with you. We'll see how close we get. But anyway, kicking this thing off. This is my second 14er, planning to summit Mount Sherman. So let's do this. And right here at the trailhead, the state flower of Colorado, the columbine. Love that sound, trickling water. Jeez. Bushwhacking it. Ugh. It's a bit of a squeeze. It's all part of the fun. Don't fall, Connor. So like hot lava, don't touch the water. Oh, there's like a wire. What is that? Huh?
This brown rock, this big rock.
Oh, thanks for calling that out. All right, nice. It's interesting being in this, I don't know what you call this. Is this like a glacial moraine? We're kind of like in this bowl almost. I don't know what you would call this. But yeah, again, this is Mount Sherman. Peak is somewhere up there. So we just have to make our way up to the ridge line and then should be pretty smooth sailing at that point. Whew. Turning the bend here and look at all of the columbine wildflowers. This is beautiful. I think this is the first time I've ever seen the state flower. Still making our way to kind of where the trail really starts, along all this rock debris. That reminds me of the Princess Bride right here with these big boulders. Anybody want a peanut? Let's see, people walking up there, so the trail eventually goes up along all the rocks.
You got a bushwhack a little.
Oh yeah, more bushwhacking, literally. Interesting. Yeah, very muddy trail, but not terrible. Yeah, definitely a lot of water here at the beginning. So hopping across some stones, trying to stay dry. Last thing you want is to fall in and get your shoes all wet before you hike your 14er. Like I said, it's all par for the course. All right, so we made it past the marshy bushwhacking. And this is really where the trail starts. So we're getting into this rock field. And this is probably going to be really what most of the hike will look like. So yeah, elevation really starts here, 2,000 feet to the summit, and just following along kind of the base of the mountain here. It's definitely a rockier trail than Elbert was. Small cairn right there, rocks stacked on top of each other. And yeah, if I'm out of breath, it's because I am a little bit. I live in Phoenix. Elevation there, just over 1,000 feet. It's a bit different than here. So we'll be pacing myself for sure today. Pretty wild to see snow in July here on the mountain. And that's what you get at high altitude, so pretty cool. I don't know if we'll have any snow crossings or not. We thought maybe this would be one, but it looks like it stops short of the trail. But yeah, pretty wild seeing snow in July. Just another view. This is definitely one of the steeper spots so far on the hike, but we're still getting started. We're about 0.75 miles into this. But we're making progress. Just follow the cairns if there's any question of where to go, because yeah, the trail kind of just disappears. It's just a rock field at this point. All right, so by far, about at the 1 mile marker, this is the toughest spot so far. It's not the worst, but a lot of steep, what would you say? Scree. A lot of steep scree and loose rocks, so just take your time, pace it, and you'll be all right. But yeah, this is definitely where the incline is hitting, about at that 1 mile marker. What's kind of cool, you can start to see possible mining remnants.
Mine cables.
Is that what that is? Oh yeah, little like electrical telephone lines for the mines. And I think the mines are up around the bend, so kind of looking forward to see that. That's one of the unique features of this mountain, is the abandoned mines.
Right, if you want to take a break though, it's better spots.
Yeah, just around the side.
Just around the river bend.
Just around the river.
Whew. Definitely the hardest part so far. Just all that loose scree and rock. It's very tiring, so this is nice. This made it past that little scree field and back on more solid ground. All right, so made it past some of these steeper switchbacks and at least get maybe 100 yards of a leveled playing field. And we head back up. So that's the top. We're getting at least to the ridge. And yeah, again, I sound out of breath. It's the altitude, I'm not used to it, but overall I feel pretty good. Pretty good. We're almost to the ridge line. I just wanted to point out again, that is Mount Sheridan. That's a 13,000. Here's the bowl we just climbed up, and right there is the ridge line. There's a peak.
I don't know if your camera can get it.
I don't know.
It's on the rocks there.
Standing on it. It's a peak. It's like an animal there in the rocks, but this is the ridge line, and then that's the summit, right? At least it's close to that. That may be a false summit, but it's close to that. So
there it is.
Yeah, we're getting there. I also wanted to point out that is Mount Massive, the second highest mountain in the Rocky Mountains after Elbert. So anyway, Mount Sherman. Eyes on the prize. Made it to the saddle. It's a nice cairn, big one to mark the way. Here we are, the Saddle of Sherman. A nice break from the elevation, kind of evens out here. But as you can see, still a nice push to the summit. All right, well, heading up towards the summit. Again, I think that may be a false summit, but the summit's about at that same elevation, so it's pretty even once we get up above on that ridge. I just wanted to point out there's like a wooden post here. Might be an old telephone line from the mines, but it's kind of a nice marker to mark the saddle. And then if you want, the trail is easy to follow to get to Mount Sheridan, this 13er. So, all right, without further ado, pushing ahead. So, just noticed the other trail winds down here, and right there is the abandoned mines, or the buildings anyway. You can see the debris. So I guess the western trail that we took doesn't go by the actual mining debris, but you can see it there on the other side. So that may be the closest look I have to this mine, but that's okay because the real mission is right there. Yeah, it's not the steepest. It's just a lot of this talus rock. So, makes it a little harder than it could be. But at the same time, Elbert was a lot more challenging, in my opinion. Final push to the top of this false summit, but I will say the trail has gotten better. It's less loose scree and what was the other rock? The talus rock. Turning around, first sighting of Mount Elbert right there. That is the highest peak of the state of Colorado, highest peak of the Rocky Mountains, and the second highest peak in the lower 48 states after Mount Whitney in California. My brother and I summited Elbert 2 days ago, so that's my excuse if I'm acting a little tired right now. So anyway, final push to the false summit. Sorry, man. This guy is hardcore mountain biking. Look at that. Unbelievable. Wow. I guess this would be awesome to mountain bike. Downhill. Uphill, I have no idea how he did that. That's amazing. Badass. That's amazing. Yeah. 100% agree. No 14er is easy. Look at this. So this push, not the worst, but again, a lot of loose rock back again. So noticing a lot of people going down are struggling, slipping. So yeah, really trying to push for that false summit, get past all this loose rock. Whew, all right, so we made it to the top of this. I guess you could call this the first false summit, and a little bit further, but we are getting really close. This is kind of the next false summit here, and I think that's the real one way up there. So just a little more of a push, and then I'll be enjoying a cold beer on the summit. Look at this view. Unbelievable. You can see Leadville down there. Again, that's the highest populated or highest elevated town in the United States. And there goes Connor. Like I said, there's a reason I'm wearing a tortoise shirt. I am a newbie to the 14ers. It's official. We're on the ridge, and there's the summit, Mount Sherman. So this is actually awesome. I love the exposure on both sides, and this is actually pretty cool. It's kind of craggy on the way to the top. Final push. We'll be up there in no time. About 300 feet left to go. Yeah, there's definitely some exposure on Sherman. It's good practice. Okay, so still working through the ridge. I thought this was the summit. Another false summit. So I think that's the true one right there, hopefully. God, I keep getting tricked by these things. That's like 4 false summits. Okay, my brother's done this before, my Rocky Mountain Sherpa. So he says that's real. I believe him.
I've told you that multiple times.
I don't listen. So I made it past that last false summit, but this is the unofficial summit because Sherman's peak is extremely long. So I don't think this is officially the summit yet. Oh, it's way over there. Okay. So even though the elevation's pretty much plateaued at this point, we're about at 14,000 feet. You still have to walk like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile just to get to the seal. But what's cool is, look at all the snow here on the top. You can have a July snowball fight if you want. Ugh. Oh, it's not very good. It's not very good packing snow. Oh, that was a horrible throw. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, terrible packing snow. All right, well, we got to make it official, so carrying on. And if you haven't noticed, yeah, my sister and her husband, they've been here for a while at the summit. My brother has been waiting for me because I am the tortoise, but I made it. Steady wins the race. Well, I made it right here after walking what seemed like a quarter of a mile along this flat summit. I guess this is the official summit right here of Mount Sherman. Now the seal is missing, so somebody must have stolen it years ago. Who knows, maybe they damaged it. But everybody seems to be posing right here today. So I'm taking this to be the official summit of Mount Sherman, my second 14er after Elbert. And Elbert is somewhere over here. I think maybe that one right there.
It's in the shadow right now.
Oh, it's over there. Oh, there it is.
You're pointing at Plata.
Cool, so there's Elbert. So 2 days ago, my brother and I were on the summit of Mount Elbert looking at Sherman. We had no idea that we would be standing on Sherman 2 days later, but here we are. Good job, guys. Kevin, this is your first time on Sherman?
Yeah.
How many 14ers have you done?
36.
36. Jesus. I've done 2. 2 now. So, I mean, Kathleen, you've done like 25-ish? Maybe more?
Yeah, we're about the same.
Connor, you're like 25-ish?
Yeah.
This is my second time.
Second, and this is both you, Connor and Kathleen, your second time on Sherman.
Different route though.
Nice, and they do have like the official cardboard sign that you can hold and pose at the top of the mountain. Okay. Well, you know what this means, because every high point I do, whether it's a 14er or something easier in the Midwest or something in the deserts of Arizona, I like to have a cold beer at the top of the summit. And usually I try to find a beer that is local to the state that I'm in. So I've got a Colorado beer that I'm going to enjoy, and then we'll kind of dive a little more into the summit here. So made it. Success. Second 14er.
Below 89. Yeah. Like it's 80 below 89 on the list, but it's not ranked.
A couple things to point out. The parking lot that we started at is right there. And right here is the remnants of an old mine shaft, or maybe like a mine camp. This was a silver mining mountain. It's amazing seeing all the different 14ers too. Great views of the Rocky Mountains. Again, this mountain that I'm on, Mount Sherman, is part of the Mosquito Range. And then over there is the Sawatch Range. And that's La Plata, that's a 14er. That's Elbert, that's the highest peak again of the state of Colorado. And Mount Massive right there is just slightly shorter than Mount Elbert. It's pretty cool. You can see all these different mountain ranges, mountain peaks. And I guess Gray's and Torrey, two other 14ers, is way off in the distance there. Double peaks. So like I said, I always enjoy a local beer. And today it's going to be a beer called 3 Barrel Brewing Company. It's a blonde ale. This is based out of Del Norte, Colorado. So a little bit south here, kind of towards southern Colorado. But hey, you know what? It's still Colorado. And I am going to enjoy this. The best beers are mountain beers. That's what they say. Actually not too bad. Usually these things like explode on the top of the mountains. That wasn't too bad. Anyway, cheers. Cheers, guys. Good job, Connor. Cheers. Cheers. Well, air cheers. Air cheers. Whew. Oh, that's good. It's very good. Well, it's kind of local. It's local to Colorado. You never know who you're going to meet on top of a summit. We got 2 people right here that used to work at Hy-Vee grocery store. How long did you work at Hy-Vee?
I worked there for 3 years.
Nice.
In Lawrence.
And
am I being taped?
You are being taped. I used to work at Hy-Vee.
Oh yeah.
You work at Hy-Vee.
We're like kindred spirits.
I love it. There's this there's a helpful smile in every aisle. I love it. That was my first job. I was 16 years old, worked as a checker at Hy-Vee grocery store in Spirit Lake, Iowa. I did that on and off throughout high school, in college, from like 2002 to 2009. So always good to see a fellow Hy-Vee employee. I want to recommend this too, this Brewmate. I don't endorse this by any means, but these are amazing for keeping your beer or soda or whatever you want to celebrate with on top of a mountain, freezing cold. These things are amazing. Highly recommend. Check them out online, Brewmate. Extreme mountain dogs. So again, cool seeing the snow up here. One thing I wanted to point out, you could see rain clouds. Now, thank God they're moving east. But you could see how quickly they form. We were just sitting here enjoying our beers, taking in the views, turned around, saw what looked like kind of a dark cloud like that. Literally 10 minutes later, you could see the rain coming down. And actually the rain is falling into South Park. That whole valley region you see down there is called South Park. And there's a town down there called Fairplay that has a lot of South Park themes, like from the actual cartoon. The Comedy Central hit show South Park is actually named after this valley here that's called South Park. So that's where the television show got its name. So glad that the storms are moving east, and looking west, it looks like the clouds are pretty clear. So that's one thing you really need to be careful of, is storms can come and approach fast on any of these mountaintops. And it's smart to start very early on these 14ers. You want to start maybe even 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning before the sun even begins to rise. This is supposed to be an easier 14er. My brother and sister have done it before, so we started a little later today, closer around 8 o'clock. So don't recommend it, but there are a lot of people here on the peak. It's a Sunday, and the forecast was nice. So glad that this is moving east.
I'm 3 now, but and
Well, I did it. 14er number 2, even though one of the easier ones, still a difficult and strenuous hike. You can't underestimate anything considered a 14er here in the state of Colorado. Anything above 14,000 feet, even if they say it's easy, it is not. It is going to be a very extreme physical feat. And yeah, just, I guess my word of advice is be in decent shape before you attempt anything like this. You should be able to run a 5K, I think, comfortably. Be in decent cardio shape before you attempt something like this, because these are extreme mountain climbs, and it's no joke. So even if you hear that, whether it's Bierstead or Sherman, if there's some of the easier ones, you can't just shrug these off. You have to prepare for them. So word of advice, always go into these realizing that they are not going to be easy. They are going to be hard. But a big feat today. Happy to knock off another 14er. I'm new to these, and I have family in Colorado, so there will probably be more 14ers on the way, but not on this trip. I've done 2 now in 2 days, and I'm tired. So anyway, we made it to the summit of Sherman, and we're heading down. And if I see anything interesting, I will share it with you on the descent. I think the descent will be a little tricky here with all the loose rock that we encountered going up. So we'll just have to really watch my footing as I head down the mountain.
That was my happy birthday throw to work.
Back in talus rock land. So definitely a little harder going down, but it's not loose scree, and there will be plenty of that coming up. Some of the smaller rocks, loose soil, so that's going to be harder, less stable ground. Saw a lot of people slipping on the way up, so bracing myself. The way down is going to be a little difficult, but like I said, take your time. It's not a race unless there's storm clouds coming, and luckily those are headed east. All right, so we made it down the main part of the peak, and back at that kind of that midpoint marker, I like to call it, where that abandoned mine telephone pole is. And it's starting to get kind of dark. So initially we were thinking about doing this 13er, but we have ruled that out right now. It's just weather's getting a little darker than we like to see, and I actually have to fly out tonight out of Denver back to Phoenix. So just trying to pack too much in and not enough time. So anyway, we're gonna keep heading down. Again, just a lot of loose scree and stuff, so just have to really watch out, watch your footing as you head down the mountain. Oh, as I almost tripped. Well, we did it. Made it back to the gravel road, past all the rock debris, rock field. I am tired. And then through the bushes again in the creeks. And I'm glad that we skipped that 13er, because there is thunder right up here behind me. So there is a storm. We got off the mountain at just the right time. Good luck to everybody up there. I don't know how they deal with that. That is terrifying to be up there. You can hear the thunder there. If there's lightning and thunder, that is scary as hell. So we got down just in time. Another successful 14er in the bag, Mount Sherman. Sherman's March. So that's 2 I've done 2 14ers in 2 days, Mount Elbert and Mount Sherman. And I do recommend this. I guess my word of advice, like I said at the top, there is no such thing as an easy 14er. This thing was tough. Easier than Elbert, yes, but still tough in its own way. There was a lot more rock scrambling on this one, a lot more steeper slopes in my opinion. And I didn't get as tired on this one as I did with Elbert, but it is still a push. Also, one of the unique features here is you start at 12,000 feet elevation. So it's only, like I said, about a 2,200 foot elevation gain to the top. So you're already in the altitude elements at the get-go on this thing. So a lot of people get fatigue right away. But I will say, if I think this is a good beginner one as far as 14ers are concerned. And if you want to kind of get better at exposure with heights and vertical drops, I think this one is actually the best mountain that you could do, at least that I've climbed so far, to give you more of that exposure and kind of help you feel maybe a little more comfortable walking the ridgeline and seeing those heights. But there's plenty of width on the trail that it doesn't really have to alarm you too much. But I do think this is a good one for people to practice getting over their vertigo if you have any. But yeah, I'm tired. Another successful 14er. Man, these get addicting though. They do. They really do. It's like running a marathon. Not like I have. I never have. I've done a 15K. But anyway, yeah, feel great. Great mountain. Highly recommend it. It's near Leadville. Again, these are part of the Mosquito Ranges, or the Mosquito Range right here. This mountain, all these mountains along here that you could see. So feeling great. Glad that I did it. Happy to conquer 2 14ers in 2 days. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here before the storm gets worse. And I think we're gonna do some exploring in Leadville. So if you have any questions with the hike, feel free to leave a comment. My name's Eric. This is the Get Me Out of Here vlog, and it's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching. Me, tortoise.